everyone. Welcome into another week of River Valley Touchdowns. I'm Mark Freeman.
I think they know us by now.
I'm
Brad Caldwell.
Week 9, and
I'm excited.
It is an interesting week. We'll put it that way. It's an interesting week of high school football as more teams locally won than lost, but we had some very odd happenings tonight.
Yeah, tough.
Tough for some standings and some playoff implications, but yeah, just an interesting night in general. We're looking forward to giving the latest in all these games. We've got information from 11 different teams from around the area, as you probably know pretty well. And those of you who are just jumping on for the first time, our goal with River Valley Touchdowns is to give you the best from the 11 local teams in our coverage area, from Morrilton to Clarksville, from Hector to Danville, all these schools in between. And we want to just tell you about them. Other schools get covered around the state, and these schools have sort of been neglected. So we want to say thank you to you for watching. Thank you to our sponsors who make it possible. As you can see, Maddie's got a little new Phil Wright Autoplex banner there, making us look a little better every week. So he did a good job on that. We appreciate St. Mary's, our game of the week from St. Mary's Regional Health System. But we are, as always, brought to you by Phil Wright Autoplex. Phil Wright Autoplex is the premier Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Toyota dealership in the River Valley. They've been serving Russellville and the River Valley since 1975, offering the best selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with service after the sale. Located at 3300 East Main in Russellville. Go see Danny Hips and his team. Give them a call at 968-1555 or go visit them online at philwrightautoplex.com. And don't forget to ask about the current rebates and specials, including the first responder discount. Brad, we had a lot of good games that we'll get to here in just a little bit, but let's take a look real quickly at the Brangus Steakhouse scoreboard. We had, as our game of the week, the St. Mary's Regional Health System game of the week, the Hector Wildcats beat the Lavaca Golden Arrows. Is that correct? Is it Golden Arrows?
That's right, Golden Arrows.
I knew it was the Arrows.
I thought they were golden. They may have just...
Did they drop the golden?
They dropped the golden part,
Are they like Syracuse? They dropped the Orangemen and just went to orange?
They're just arrows.
They're just arrows now. I don't care which direction or color. They're just
arrows.
Just arrows. Hector wins 17-6. We'll talk with Coach
That's an
Scott
odd
Poteet.
mascot.
That is weird. Like, what do you do? What do you just have a guy walking around with one of those toys with the arrow that's poking through your head, but it's a hat? I don't know. We'll talk with Coach Scott Poteet of the victorious Hector Wildcats, moving to 6-2. We'll talk with him at 10:40. Russellville, the Cyclones got a 38-0 shutout win over Little Rock Hall on senior night, and we'll talk at 10:50 with Coach Jeff Weaver as the Cyclones move to 5-3. Dardanelle moves to 7-1 with a 38-7 win over Subiaco Academy. Danville got a big win, moving 5-3. They won 41-7 over Baptist Prep. Lamar, the lone undefeated team in the River Valley, won 15-7 over Mansfield. And Brad, you had a stat. I don't want to steal it from you.
Right. So should we bring it out now?
Go for it.
So Lamar is one of 12. Up until tonight, I don't know exactly who has done it. Well, no, never mind. I was going to say somebody else. Actually, there were two undefeated teams that played tonight. Hazen and Earl were playing each other, so one of those went down. Lamar was one of 12 undefeated teams in the state coming into the game tonight. So Lamar stays unbeaten, and I think we can probably go ahead and say this. Lamar and Boonville next week are going to be our St. Mary's Regional Health Systems game of the week. It's going to be a big time atmosphere.
Yeah, it's absolutely
at Lamar.
Gonna be awesome. Yeah, we're looking forward to that one. Lamar, as we mentioned, 15-7 winners over Mansfield. We'll talk with Coach Josh Jones at 10:55. Atkins 52-6 loss to Mayflower. Atkins falls to 6-2. They are in a hard spot in their schedule right now, playing against Mayflower and then Glen Rose. So that's a tough one for the Atkins Red Devils, falling 52-6. Morrilton with a big overtime win, 34-28 over Valonia. We were following that one, Brad, just up until showtime, as Morrilton claws back to 500 at 4-4. And I don't know for sure, but I'm told that they could potentially get their quarterback Criswell back at the end of this season. 4-4, Brad, looks a whole lot better than 3-5.
Oh, man, they really helped themselves quite a bit tonight with that victory over Valonia. I think Valonia is a team that has improved throughout the season. Morrilton with a huge win, and getting Criswell back will help that offense quite a bit. man, they really were in danger of losing, maybe falling out of the playoffs if they had lost that game tonight.
Yeah. Moving on through the schedule here, Two Rivers fell 60-0 to Jessieville. Clarksville falls to 2-6 with a 52-10 loss to Greenbrier, and Dover falls to 1-7 with the 55-0 loss against Ozark. But the weirdest game of the entire night, as you see on this Brangus Steakhouse scoreboard tonight,
not a typo.
It's not a typo. We've got 78-41. Elkins over Pottsville. You score 41 points, Brad, you expect to at least be close in the game. You expect to have a chance to win. But if you give up 78, you know, Barry Switzer used to say something about Oklahoma hanging a half 100. Elkins almost hung the whole 100 tonight.
Yes, they did. Elkins has got a high-powered offense. They're going to come into Dardanelle. That's going to be a very interesting game coming up. Is it next week? It is next week. Dardanelle Elkins, that would have been a real possibility for the game of the week if we didn't have two undefeateds at Lamar and Boonville this week. But Elkins can score, okay? So they lost to Mena the other night, 49-45, so they can score. And from what I understand, Pottsville was unable to handle the ball tonight. So that was, you know, and they had that issue against Dardanelle, and it kind of snowballed on them. It looks like the same thing happened a little bit tonight. They were able to score 41 on Elkins, but 78. You're not going to win many games when you give up 78 points.
I don't know if I've ever seen a local team, aside from Clarksville in the playoffs that year against Shiloh.
I was listening to Atkins on the way in, and they talked about a game against Two Rivers. I'd probably have to pull it up, where it was 141 points total between them. So I don't know exactly what the final score was of that game, but I would say that there was probably some 80s and some 60s hung up. So anyway, I'll try to check that one and see if I can find it. But they said I think it was in the 2013 season, but not too many. You'll see it every year. There'll be there was I believe it was a Fountain Lake Lakeside game last year.
Yeah, I remember that one.
88-66.
Yeah.
You know, that was a similar game to tonight with the Pottsville Elkins game.
Well, we're going to hit our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our St. Mary's Regional Health System game of the week. Hector beating Lavaca. Those Hector folks, man, they're just too good to us. Michelle's on her way back right now, and she's loaded down with groceries. She's loaded down with dinner, and we've already eaten several hours ago, so we're just going to get even fatter as we feast with the Hector Wildcats. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen from Hector, for sending it. Janice, we appreciate
always
you and your folks. Yeah, you guys are awesome to us. Floyd, Gina, everybody who's watching right now online, we appreciate you being with us. We're going to hit a break. We'll be back to talk about the game of the week right after this. A proud supporter of the Russellville Cyclones and all the local student athletes who make sports in the River Valley so great, Randy Adkins of Adkins & Associates wants to wish the best of luck to all the local teams and say, Go Cyclones!
Brangus Steakhouse is a locally owned business serving the River Valley and visitors since 1995. Offering steaks, ribs, chicken, burgers, and salads, there's something for everyone. Brangus is proud to serve only choice steaks and offers a kids menu as well as daily specials. Check them out on Facebook by searching Brangus Steakhouse. And if you're up for a real challenge, see if you can tackle the 4-pound steak, which is free if you can eat it within an hour. Brangus Steakhouse, open Monday through Saturday at 1509 East Main in Russellville.
Make that short drive to Russellville and see why so many people are buying the right way. At Phil Wright Autoplex in Russellville, hurry in for incredible savings like up to $12,000 off the 2018 GMC Yukons and up to $8,000 off the 2018 GMC Acadias. Ride in comfort in the GMC 2018 Terrains with up to $7,500 off. Hurry in for $14,500 off the 2018 GMC Sierras. Phil Wright Autoplex is the right place to buy, and there's a reason why we've been awarded the best auto dealership in the area for up to 9 years straight. Exit 84, just off 540, Russellville.
What's going on, everybody? We're getting settled back in. I'm sorry I can't handle it. I've got some food here. Hector has just showed out. hey, you roll out the red carpet for us if we bring that St. Mary's Game of the Week to your house. This is how you do it, guys. This is the Hector way. Thank you, Wildcats fans. Got a 17-6. I don't know if they would have been so happy if they hadn't won the way they did last week and then win again tonight. Yeah. I don't know if they'd have been so hospitable. No, they were the first week when we went out there.
Man.
So 17-6 winners. Hector over Lavaca. Another big win to move to 6-2 for the Wildcats.
Huge win. Over an improving Lavaca team, a team that had come off a big win against Magazine. You know, Hector went to Magazine, kind of laid an egg over there, game that everybody thought that Hector would win, and then Lavaca goes in turn and beats Magazine, and I don't know if Magazine was feeling that or why. You know, there's just no telling. But all that being said, Hector was able to pull the victory out tonight. Now Hector has a non-conference game against Junction City next week. And that's going to be, you know, just kind of a test for them as far as where are they? You know, can they, you know, Junction City is going to be one of those teams that you're going to see in the quarterfinals, semifinals, possibly finals. Can Hector match up with them now? That's going to be the question. Cody Day has been a guy that has just, man, he has been one of those top performers in the area. I know he had another good game tonight. We talked about him last week. He had almost 500 total yards last week in that overtime victory over Hackett. But the big thing that this sets up now is Hector has played every conference game but one. They go to Mountainburg on the last game, I think on that Friday, with an opportunity to win the conference.
134-18, Brad. That's the last 4 games that Junction City played before tonight.
My goodness.
They're good.
No,
they're always good.
Who they beat? Fordyce tonight?
Yeah, they beat them 7-6.
Right.
So
Fordyce is a very good team.
That's a good team. They beat close, but 40-0, 30-12, 57-0 their last 3 games before that. So just to let you know what Hector's looking at the next few weeks.
I will tell you this. Bearden's not nearly as good as they've been in the past. That was one of those games. What else do we have?
Bearden, Hampton, and Strong. And I don't think any of those teams are Hector by any means.
Strong, I know that Strong and Bearden aren't that good. I don't know how good Hampton is, but those 2 teams are not great. But you know, Hector's got their hands full. There's no doubt they're gonna go down to Henderson State and they're gonna get their medal tested for sure. But as for tonight, let's concentrate on tonight. Let's give them their 24 hours to celebrate tonight. Coach Poteet will be with us tonight on the Cobjai hotline. Big win for Hector over Lavaca. It was one of those games that if Hector didn't come ready to play, they could have tripped up. They could have stumbled. And then in the rain tonight, you know, they did what they had to do to win.
Yeah, man, this weather, I love the fall. I love the weather change, getting it cooler, but I don't like when it just rains all the time. It's like, it's going to be this cold. Yeah. Get a little colder and snow. You know,
well, it just seems like
this mess.
Every other Friday it's rained. Yeah. It seems like. I mean,
it wasn't as bad as it was a couple weeks ago, but yeah, it messes things up pretty bad to have to play in that. It can't change your entire game plan sometimes.
Right.
If you're Pottsville, you'll fumble 48 times and lose. But lots of teams tonight really had a bad time with the weather, but Hector was not one of them. 17-6 winners. And again, we'll be talking with Coach Scott Poteet after our next break, where we're going to talk about all the other games.
I've got a retraction already. Apparently, Hector plays Mountainburg at home, which is good, and
nice.
they've got it for senior night.
Cool.
So thank you, Misty. We've got 11 teams to keep up with. So anyway, all that being said, that's going to be a big game at Hector. You know, we've got some plans for that week for the possible game of the week, but we may do a double feature because that'll be a big one.
Yeah. Hey, Barb, she says that number 22 with that hit or with that run was her boy Blake. So appreciate you watching. Nell, Misty, everybody who's watching right now, we thank you guys. Jared Huffman said 71-69 Atkins 2 Rivers a couple years ago. Yeah, that's the game you were mentioning. Stephen Baker, everybody who's watching, we thank you guys for being a part of the show. We need to hit another break because we've got to talk about the rest of the games. That was our game of the week, the St. Mary's Regional Health System game of the week, Hector Lavaca. But we've got Russellville, we've got Dardanelle, Danville, Lamar. Those teams won, and the rest of the teams that will go over their games on the scoreboard here right after this.
New roads at Phil Wright Autoplex in Russellville, and see why so many people are buying the right way, like up to $7,500 off the 2019 Chevrolet Equinox. or drive away in a 2018 Chevrolet Cruze starting at $14,599. Find new roads with a 2018 Chevrolet Malibu up to $6,000 off. And don't miss up to $14,500 off the 2018 Chevrolet Silverado for 43 years. Phil Wright Autoplex has been the right place to buy, and there's a reason why we've been awarded the best new car dealership in the area for the past 9 years straight.
Your little superhero is amazing. And as a parent, you want nothing more than for your kids to be safe, eat right, and grow up happy and healthy. That's why when your children face a strong-armed enemy like illness or injury, you want to place them in the hands of equally amazing caregivers. Caregivers like the pediatricians at Millard Henry Clinic. Our board-certified specialists have their own incredible set of superhero skills and insight, so that no matter what your kids face, you can trust our team to provide them with quality, compassionate care. In the quest to keep kids healthy in the Arkansas River Valley, every child needs to have a Millard Henry Clinic pediatrician in their corner, even superheroes. For an appointment, call Millard Henry Clinic.
It's time to run through the rest of the Bring Steakhouse scoreboard for the games that happened this week. The Russellville Cyclones on senior night get a 38-0 win over Little Rock Hall. Brad, it's a win they expected. You play against a team like Little Rock Hall, and you know it's tough because a lot of times you kind of know before the game starts that you're expected to win, and those sometimes you don't look your best. But Russellville 38-0. That defense from Russellville is solid.
They're salty, and they had a nice bounce back game. You know, I was going to say this last week, and I don't think I got a chance to get it in. When you're playing Greenwood, it's like playing stinking Alabama. You know, it's just like
you take your wins where you can get them.
Exactly. You know, and of course Russellville was able to beat Greenwood in the state championship game a couple years back, so that tells you how good that Russellville team was.
Yeah.
But man, for the most part, when you're playing Greenwood, you're playing that caliber, the high school version of it. You just almost have to brush that off, move on to the next one, and it looks like that's what they were able to do tonight, being able to get that 38-0 victory, 48-0 victory over Hall. And the thing was there's a lot of distractions on senior night, and you can let them trip you up, but Russellville was able to overcome that and get an easy victory.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I did say 38-0, but here on Cyclone Booth, thank you to Mickey Duval and the radio broadcasters there for the Cyclone Booth stats here. 48-0 Russellville won. Red Adkins 13 of 25 for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also rushed for another touchdown. And then Braden Whitford came in and threw 7 for 10 for 80 yards. I like how they're getting to use both of them, mix them in, get Whitford some reps. Cade England had 79 yards rushing and another touchdown, including the longest run of his career as a Russellville Cyclone, a 51-yard touchdown. And then Daniel Espinosa had 47 yards rushing and another touchdown. But the guy that we keep talking about from Russellville, aside from Red Adkins, who's an all-state quarterback, was Jaden Palmer. This guy's a stud. He's already won our Player of the Week twice because he had 10 catches for 200 yards once, and we really couldn't do anything about it. It was just had to be him 2 weeks in a row because he was unbelievable. But he had 7 catches for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Right? It seems like it doesn't even seem like it. It's true. When it comes down to it, and Russellville needs to throw the ball, and they need to get a catch and get some yards to move the chain, it's Jaden Palmer.
And you got to have one of those guys. And they've got him, and you're lucky to have him, and we're glad that he's on Russellville. I mean, what else do you say about it? You want those type of guys on your team, and they've got one in Jaden Palmer.
Well, that was a good senior night victory for the Cyclones, and we'll look at remaining schedules and that as we go on later on. But Dardanelle moves to 7-1 with a 38-7 homecoming win over Subiaco. That's one of those games that it's good that you schedule it on homecoming because a lot of times on homecoming you got some distractions, you got some other things, your mind in a bunch of different places, and you want to play a team that you don't have to worry about jumping up and beating you. And that's what Dardanelle had tonight. 38-7 win to move to 7-1. Dardanelle over Subiaco. Dardanelle's just plugging right along, man. They got Elkins next week, is that right?
They got Elkins next week. It's going to be an interesting matchup.
By the way, Elkins, I'm going to say it again, they scored 78 points tonight.
You know, the thing about Elkins, coming into Dardanelle. I think Dardanelle's the better team. But Elkins apparently, and I haven't looked at enough at them because they are a 4-4A team. I haven't seen them enough to tell you what they have and what they don't. But apparently they've got a kid that's a quarterback that can sling it. And apparently a college-level type quarterback on the 3A level, and he's good. He's a good player. And so I think Dardanelle may have their hands full with them as far as their offense, but also Elkins is not as strong on defense. And I think that Dardanelle is going to be able to score. And you've got to think that Dardanelle, just being who they are, being physical at the point of attack, they've got a great opportunity. And we're talking about next week because, I thought about this. I wonder how many games per year that Subiaco plays that's homecoming. Honestly. Honestly, how many games per year does Subiaco – and I guarantee it starts from week 3 on.
I was going to say, you're playing week 1 and you're already calling it homecoming? Right, what are you guys doing?
Exactly. It's just every year, man, poor Subiaco. They're just not that good. And I said Lavaca had improved because Lavaca actually was Subiaco's lone win on the season. So Lavaca's come a long way. But, man, Subiaco, they're just – you just expect them to be a win, when you see them on the schedule. Win. So congrats to Dardanelle. They've got the big one coming up against Elkins. I can't remember their last game. We'll talk about that later. But that's going to be a big game, one that we'll have a lot of eyes on next week.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking at Atkins, who fell 52-6 to Mayflower. Mayflower's got some dudes. They're a good team, and they're really as good as they are. Glen Rose is beating them.
Man.
So Atkins is into the meat of their schedule, the portion of the schedule where we knew it was coming. We talked about it before. It was one of those things where, Atkins was 6-0, and it wasn't like they were bad because they were 6-0. They played well, but you knew that the tests were coming, and now they're here.
Well, that 3A4 is tough. It's a very, from Atkins to Danville, Mayflower, and Glen Rose. Those are good teams. Mm-hmm. Atkins has really caught I don't know. They were very lethargic tonight. I don't know if they let Danville beat them twice. I'm not totally sure exactly what was going on. Not to say that Mayflower wouldn't have won the game. Mayflower has two brothers on the team. If you haven't seen them play, they're as fun to watch as anybody that you'll be able to watch. You got your team that you watch. Once you get a chance, if you get a chance to watch them in the playoffs, Mayflower's going to play a long way into the playoffs, and they have two brothers named Keon and Dion Stewart, and they look pretty much unstoppable on the field. And it seemed like every time that they got a hole, they were able to outrun the angle, and you saw a couple of those highlights right there. They absolutely destroyed Atkins tonight. I mean, guys, it was 46-0 at the half. It was a tough night for Atkins, there wasn't. The atmosphere at Limley Field tonight wasn't great. I mean, it was raining. There was probably, 1/4 or 1/5 of the crowd that they usually have.
Yeah.
And, man, it was odd, too. I guess there was a wreck on I-40. Mayflower got there late. Wow. And so they actually started the game about 10, 15 minutes late. But, boy, when they started, man, I mean, it was from about the third carry on, it was over.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that Clarksville game, and it was for Clarksville starting the game off. They played pretty well early on. They got a 3-0 lead because they were able to get a stop on. I don't know if it was an interception or a fumble. It was kind of the camera lost the frame. It was just long story short. Clarksville got a stop and then they were able to kick a field goal, and then they got another potential stop. And then Greenbrier just kind of got rolling on them, and it was 52-10. It was 30-3 at the half, so I didn't get to watch a whole lot after that. But Clarksville, they were just struggling defensively. They were missing a lot of tackles, and I know it's the rain's not great for that, not conducive to great tackling and really ball handling, especially in a running offense. Clarksville had a miscommunication that ended up in a safety where they run that wing tee where they're. They got several different guys who could play quarterback, and they just didn't know who was going to get the snap. Ball goes right between them in the end zone, and it's a safety. And it was just kind of that kind of night. Same kind of thing that Atkins had happen, same kind of thing that Pottsville had happen, same kind of thing that Ozark and Two Rivers had. So Two Rivers, as we mentioned, fell to 0-8 with a 60-0 loss against Jessieville. Ozark beat Dover 55-0.
Didn't you get called out this week on that?
I got a friend who is the principal at Ozark High School. Went to high school with us at Clarksville. I don't know what in the world's wrong with him, but he's the principal at Ozark now, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to issue a formal apology to the Hillbillies." I said, "No, not doing it." So,
good
April,
stuff.
I'm sorry you had to endure our Panthers losing. April is the biggest Panthers fan in the history of Panthers fans. So, appreciate everybody who's watching. I know you're probably watching for this right here. We've got a giveaway. If you want to win, you just comment "I'm in." Go ahead and share this post with your friends, and then we'll have them saying they're in until Thursday of next week, even though we'll give this away tonight. So we're here just a little bit, going to do that. But as far as the other games in the area, Morrilton, I wish we had some stats on that one, Brad. I think you do. 34-28, the Morrilton Devil Dogs get an overtime win. We were following that game right up until the show started because it was 28-28 going into overtime, and obviously Vilonia wasn't able to score, and Morrilton was.
So here's the deal with Morrilton right now. We talk a lot about Jacoby Criswell coming back. They really haven't had a quarterback problem over the year. Now, Criswell, he's going to add a different dynamic. But Dylan White tonight was 17 of 34, 225 yards, no picks, 2 touchdowns. Xavier Clemens for the Devil Dogs had 20 carries, 103 yards. He wasn't able to score. Mason Adams actually had 3 carries for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. But, you know, the thing with Morrilton that I'm noticing is that Morrilton seems to play to level their competition a little bit. You know, the other night, Alma comes in. Alma's undefeated in the conference at that point. They 23-22, back and forth. A game that I can't tell you the last time that Morrilton lost to Vilonia. They almost pulled it off tonight, and I'll tell you right now, man. You Devil Dogs fans that are watching right now, you're very lucky that you pulled it off tonight because had you lost tonight, you were in danger of not making the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, it was that close. But now you're really setting good for a 3 seed there. And again, you know, you're going to probably play Little Rock Christian that first round as the 3 seed. You know, unfortunately, things haven't fell your way this year, but at the end of the day, you're still in.
Well, I think we've buried the lead a little bit here. The Lamar Warriors 8-0. They're the only undefeated team left in our coverage area, and we hadn't talked much about them. So a 15-7 win over Mansfield. We'll talk a little bit more about them because we're running late on our calls to the coaches. We're going to call Coach Poteet during our next break, but we'll talk with Coach Jones here in just a moment. We'll go over their stats from Lamar, and also Danville moved to 5-3 with a 41-7 win over Baptist Prep. Coach Crane sent me a little bit of stats, and we're going to hear from their player of the week here in just a little bit, but had some decent information from that one. So we'll be back right after the break to talk with Coach Scott Poteet of the Hector Wildcats, among other coaches.
Visit Cobb Jai in historic downtown Russellville for some of the best Thai and Asian cuisine in the region. With outstanding steak, pho, curry, and more, you're sure to find something savory to suit your palate. Great service and friendly staff round out the authentic eating experience. Stop by today. You'll be glad you did. Cobb Jai Thai Restaurant.
Experience Buick and experience 43 years at Phil Wright Autoplex in Russellville and see why so many people have been buying the right way. Hurry in for incredible savings like up to $7,000 off the 2018 Buick Regal Sportsback, or drive away in the popular 2018 Buick Encore with up to $7,500 off, or up to $9,000 off the 2018 Buick Enclaves. Experience Buick and experience the right place to buy at Phil Wright Autoplex. There's a reason why we've been awarded the best new car dealership in the area for the past 9 years straight. Exit 84, just off I-40, Russellville.
We get it. Working out can be confusing. Here at Focus Fitness, we take the guesswork out. Real training, real results. Focus Fitness. Start your transformation.
Welcome back into River Valley Touchdowns. We are glad to be joined by the victorious head coach of the Hector Wildcats, winners of tonight's St. Mary's Regional Health System Game of the Week, Coach Scott Poteet. Coach, 17-6 win tonight in not great conditions. How did it go for you guys?
It went pretty well. You know, like you said, it wasn't great conditions for both teams. You know, it kind of limited us both what we could do. But, you know, the kids played hard. Defensively, we played extremely well tonight. Our pass defense was better tonight. And, you know, offensively, we struggled at times moving the football, but that's a credit to them. They jumped in and out of 3 or 4 different fronts and did a good job scheming us. And, you know, credit to them. But, you know, we scored just enough to win tonight.
Hey, Coach, you guys have bounced back a little bit from that loss to Magazine. Tell us about what you guys have went through since then.
You know, we just talk about play to play. You know, we talk about worrying about us. You know, do the best we can every play. Let's worry about us. And, you know, it's never been an effort from these kids. You know, it's just time. We're still playing with a lot of young kids, you know, first-time starters, a first-year quarterback, you know. And it's about execution for us, and it's about hanging on to the football and not putting it on the ground, you know. And we did that tonight, and, you know, that's what we've been harping on ever since Magazines. You know, just let's take care of us. Let's just get better every play, every practice, and then go out there Friday night and see what happens.
Well, you know, Coach, it'd be really easy for us as we see the stats every week and we see the days. We see the Cody Day and we see, you know, the stats that they put up. But I know that it's a team that you've got that's got more than just those guys. Who are some other guys who've stepped up for you, offensive and defensively, and guys that we may not have heard their names?
It's Caleb Prophet, you know, tonight. He probably had over 100 yards again tonight, you know. He caught one for 89 yards, you know. Gunnar Garrison's doing a good job at wide receiver. Chandler Cyphers is doing a good job at our S-back, blocking and receiving. And, you know, it's just as the more and more we've gotten familiar with me and our system, the more we've been able to add and the more they're comfortable in doing. And, you know, and these other guys are getting opportunities to step up. You know, Blake Kane and Ethan Church do a good job running the football as well for us. But, you know, it's just getting familiar with what we want done. And now we've been able to add on to the offense. And, you know, that's what's helping these other guys stand out now.
Coach, you got 2 big ones coming up. You got one against Junction City, which is kind of a measuring stick, you know, for you going into the playoffs. Then that last game at home versus Mountainburg, man. You've got 2 pretty good teams with the last 2 games.
We do, you know, and we're excited about it, you know. Going to play one of the top 2 teams, you know, it depends on who you talk to. There's no doubt they're one of the top 4 teams in the state, you know, in Junction City. And, you know, and just going to go see what we can do. We just want to go compete, you know, and play hard. And, you know, the one next week is real big for these kids. This is what we've been talking about, is getting to week 10 and just having a chance to win it. You know, you can't control what goes on in the other games, but, you know, week 10, you know, that's all you can ask for.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate your time, and we appreciate the Hector hospitality. Every time we've come out there, it's been a big deal. They've been real nice to us. They fed us, and Michelle brought back more food than we could handle tonight. So thank Wildcat Nation for us. We appreciate you guys. Congratulations, and look forward to some more wins.
We'll do it. Thank y'all very much.
All right, that's Coach Scott Poteet of the Hector Wildcats, 17-6 winners over Lavaca. Brad, we've tried, and this is, as we mentioned early on in the show, we really want, and not this show, but just in general, the River Valley Touchdowns, we want to get your kids' names out there. We want to get your kid, your grandkid, your neighbor, your alma mater talked about. So that's why we kind of ask a little bit on the Cobb Jai hotline there about who else, who are the people we haven't heard about. So if you're a fan of one of these teams, you're hearing about some of these same players every week, get us some names. Tell us who's doing well.
Man, kudos to Hector. I mean, they just every week they show up. I mean, you know, we pushed out to 4,300 views last week.
Yep.
A lot of that is due to some rabid Hector fans. You know, anytime that we put it out there that you know, Hector got the play of the week, Cody Day's touchdown scramble for overtime, that was the play of the week. almost 2,000 views on that thing. You guys are helping us out tremendously. You don't even know, man. So I'm just saying thank you to Hector. Thank you guys for being such a big supporter of us. We're a big supporter of you.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to try to call Coach Jeff Weaver of the Russellville Cyclones as well. They won 48. Excuse me, I kept calling it 38, but they won 48-0 tonight over Little Rock Hall on senior night. So it was a nice win for the Russellville Cyclones on a night that was, as we mentioned, it's cold, it's rainy. It's not the best of atmospheres as far as the weather goes, but Russellville got a win anyway. Coach Weaver?
Yes.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hey, doing well. 48-0. You guys took care of business on senior night, huh?
We did. It was a fun night to have the seniors all get out on the field and make plays and send them off. We still plan to play at home at least one more time, but this was last guaranteed, and so we were proud to go out and get a big win.
Coach, this is 1, 2, 3 shutouts for your defense.
Yeah.
You guys your defense is solid.
It is. We've had obviously last week we didn't play well, and Greenwood executed really well. That's the only time our defense we didn't feel gave us at least a chance to win. And 3 shutouts. They've really carried the load all year. It was nice to see our offense get things going in the second half. And we had a really good week of preparation, and hopefully we can build on it because we got a big one this week at El Dorado.
And I'm that guy, Coach, because I always want to know about what's coming up. You guys have 2 huge ones coming up with El Dorado and Siloam Springs. Basically, pretty much the difference between you guys not playing at home and playing at home.
Yep. We have to win 1 to get a home game and win 2 to get the 3 seed. So, you can only win 1 at a time. And this week was all about us getting better. And to be honest, that's exactly what we'll be focusing on Monday. And we feel like if we can continue to improve, we'll have an excellent opportunity to fulfill those goals.
I looking at the playoff bracket a little bit. That 3 seed is a pretty good seed there. You've got a good chance there to make a little bit of a run if you have the opportunity to get that 3.
Well, I think you're right that the 3 seed is definitely where you want to get when you're at this point. And, again, it's about today. And today we got better, and it's going to be about Monday. And if we do those, I think we can get on a run regardless of our seed. But we certainly have to take care of business along the way.
We talked about some of the stats, and as we said earlier, thank you to Cyclone Booth and Mickey Duval for providing those stats for us. But you see that Red Adkins had 2 touchdowns passing and a touchdown rushing, and Cade England had 79 yards rushing and a touchdown. Jaden Palmer always there with another 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. But we just asked the same question of Coach Poteet from Hector. Who are some of the unsung heroes that you've had that have stepped up over the last few weeks and really made a difference for you guys?
Well, one of the guys that's just stepped up all year, and he's really the only guy we're playing both ways, is Rasheed Robinson. He's a senior, started as a sophomore on the O-line. Last year played D-line. This year he's playing D-line and O-line. And he's an absolute beast and just a great young man and really our heart and soul when it comes to the physical side of the game. And he would be the guy that would stand out the most to me is doing a great job. Tonight, Riley Johnson had a few catches, and he's a guy that's just been solid for us all year long out at outside receiver, makes plays for us and blocks well on the edge. So those are the guys that I think probably don't jump out on the stat sheet week after week, but they're guys that put in the work and have earned the right to be out there and have big senior nights.
Yeah, absolutely. Riley Johnson, 5 catches for 41 yards, and Michael Keller, 3 catches for 65 yards. So good performance from your offense and defense. And as we mentioned, Coach, you guys have a chance to make another run here this year and get a home game or so in the playoffs. We appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win. We look forward to talking to you again very soon.
I appreciate it, guys.
You have a good night.
You too.
That's Coach Jeff Weaver of the Russellville Cyclones. We're going to get a hold of Coach Jones from Lamar, and we will have knocked out all of our coach conversations here as we get a hold of all these local coaches that we're making time for this evening. So we appreciate everyone who's watching. We appreciate everybody who's taking part in the show as far as coaches go as well. So we're going to try to get a hold of Coach Jones of the 8-0 Lamar Warriors. We talk about Hector, but Lamar. Hey, Coach Jones, how are you?
Very good.
Good. Well, we were just about to brag on your fan bases. You guys are 8-0, and your fan base is pretty excited about it. I'm sure they're just a notch below you on the excitement.
Yeah, sorry, but it's loud on the bus, and the kids were cheering there.
Yeah, I told you they're having a party.
We had a great game. Defensively, we were outstanding tonight. Defense really stood them up right before halftime. The defense held them there at the goal line, and we were able to go into halftime with a 7-0 lead. Came in the second half. I believe Mansfield's first possession, they went down and scored to tie it up, and then we just came right around and came right back and scored to make it. And then we went for 2 to make it 15-7, and the defense just held it from there.
Was there a particular? Just thinking about the math there. Is there a reason you felt like going for 2 there?
Well, they got a penalty on our touchdown play. I guess they face masked him on his way into the end zone, and so that put it a little closer. And I knew that 1.5 yards that we had to get that 2 points might be our best chance to make sure if they did score again that they'd have to go for 2.
Yeah, that's a good choice there then. I like that. All right, so it looks like you guys ran the ball extremely well, didn't pass the ball a whole lot. I'm sure that was probably a product of the weather and the situation of the game, but 243 yards rushing, 135 of it for Jacob Parmenter, who I've been very impressed with him. Every time I've seen him play this year, he's got some moves. He can kind of stop on a dime and change directions. I really appreciated what I saw from him. And then Ike Peltz had 2 touchdowns rushing as well. Mays carried the ball 20 times for 77 yards. So you got 3 guys toting the rock for you tonight.
Yeah, we did, and those touchdowns for Ike were quarterback sneaks from basically from the goal line, and he did a great job of that. They were trying to take away Parmenter, but he busted off a couple of long ones. I believe he had somewhere around a 70-yard run. They had us pinned deep right on our goal line, and he flipped the field for us, got us all the way down inside the 20. And we actually didn't score on that drive. But Jonathan Mays was a workhorse all night. He really, really got the tough yards up the middle. And, when it's as wet and nasty as it was, it's hard to cut. And so you just kind of got to go straight ahead sometimes.
Coach, I got one word. I want you to give me your initial reaction when I say this one word. Are you ready?
Yes.
Boonville.
Yeah, they're really good. Really good. But you know what? They do a lot of the same things we do. They are really good. They're the number 1 team in the state for a reason. But we're at home, and we're going to have a great crowd, and we're going to give them our best shot, and just try to play our best football.
So here's what I hope for y'all and us and everybody, because this is going to be a lot of fun next week. No rain.
Seriously,
right?
Give us some good weather,
No rain, and man, that I feel like that.
I'm ready to go.
Lamar is going to be. It's going to be pumping for sure.
That's it, boy. I tell you what, we've had two games in the rain, and I don't know. It just our running backs aren't real big, and so they rely on quickness and cutting, and whenever the weather's nasty, well, they just can't cut, and so it makes it tough on them.
Coach, did you know you were coming into the game tonight? You were one of 12 teams in the state that was undefeated in all classifications.
No, I didn't know that, but that's really cool. That's really nice. I told the kids right after the game, it's a very, very special thing to be undefeated this late in the year. I guess I've been. I don't know. I think it's my 15th year as a head coach, and there hasn't been very many times that we've been undefeated this late in the year.
Well, Coach, I do want to. You mentioned the word that you stole the word, took the word right out of my mouth. I was going to say it's special, and I saw a couple of fans that I know who traveled with you, and then Coach Sampley said it's nice to go on the road and outnumber the home fans. So it sounds like that 8-0 is really drawing the Lamar Warrior fans, and they're traveling with you and they're getting behind you. I'm imagining that this is kind of feeling like a special season to the entire community.
It really is. Boy, I tell you, the home game we had against Greenland, our fans absolutely amazing.
Yes, they were.
I mean, they kept us going. And then here tonight, I truly do believe that we outnumbered Mansfield, and I don't think it was close.
Wow.
Fans are loud, even though at Mansfield the bleachers are about a quarter mile off the field, but they were loud and you could hear them, and boy, they kept us going there down the stretch.
Well, we're looking forward to a game of the week next week. That's just going to be an incredible atmosphere. I'm ready for it. I'm stoked about that one. Then we've got 2 out of the next 3 weeks. It looks like that Lamar could be in one of our featured games. So we're going to be there. We're going to be there looking forward to a good Lamar showing, hopefully a good win against Boonville, and just a good end of the season for you guys going in to the playoffs. Coach, we appreciate your time. Go get yourself some rest tonight, all right?
You bet. Thank you.
It's Coach Josh Jones. I have to give him crap every time I talk to him about rest, because he told me once, I don't know if I could stay up that late to talk to you on the phone for the show. So we appreciate everybody who's watching. We need to hit our last break. When we come back, we've got Player of the Week, Hit of the Week, plenty of different stuff left to hit on the show. We appreciate all of you for joining us. Appreciate all of our sponsors. Mattress Max, Hit of the Week, Adkins and Associates. We haven't given him a shout out in a while, but we know Randy watches the show and we appreciate him being a part. St. Mary's, we mentioned them, the game of the week and all that St. Mary's does for River Valley now. Cobb Jai, the hotline, we appreciate them so much. So we're going to hit a break. When we come back, we're going to finish up.
Make that short drive to Russellville and see why so many people are buying the right way at Phil Wright Autoplex in Russellville. Hurry in for incredible savings like up to $12,000 off the 2018 GMC Yukons and up to $8,000 off the 2018 GMC Acadias. Ride in comfort in the GMC 2018 Terrains with up to $7,500 off. Hurry in for $14,500 off the 2018 GMC Sierras. Phil Wright Autoplex is the right place to buy, and there's a reason why we've been awarded the best auto dealership in the area for up to 9 years straight. Exit 84, just off 540, Russellville.
Your little superhero is amazing. And as a parent, you want nothing more than for your kids to be safe, eat right, and grow up happy and healthy. That's why when your children face a strong-armed enemy like illness or injury, you want to place them in the hands of equally amazing caregivers. Caregivers like the pediatricians at Millard Henry Clinic. Our board-certified specialists have their own incredible set of superhero skills and insight, so that no matter what your kids face, you can trust our team to provide them with quality, compassionate care. In the quest to keep kids healthy in the Arkansas River Valley, every child needs to have a Millard Henry Clinic pediatrician in their corner, even superheroes. For an appointment, call Millard Henry Clinic.
All right, welcome back into the last segment of River Valley Touchdowns for Week 9. Thank you all for watching and being a part. We're going to give this away here in just a moment, so stick with us. I'm going to put it out here on the desk so I don't forget about it. But we appreciate everybody who's watching, Garrett, Nathan, Laura, everybody who's on right now to be a part of the show. I imagine our number is going to go up pretty significantly here shortly as people are like, oh, the show's almost over. I'm going to jump on and win this
cheaters
flashlight. Thank you to American Outdoor Sports for providing that opportunity for us to give something away. But let's look real quickly at our player of the week. Then we'll get into the Mattress Max hit of the week. Thank you to Phil Wright Autoplex. They do a great job of picking out their players of the week, and you'll see Danny Hips going to all these different schools in the area and picking out a player of the week, and we'll share that on River Valley Now later this week. But we picked tonight based on the games that we saw and the stats that we had available to us. And tonight, Evan Lane from Danville, he actually won our hit of the week a few weeks ago, the very first one, I believe. But he is tonight's Phil Wright Autoplex player of the week. 2 carries for 62 yards and a touchdown, and 5 catches for 76 yards and another touchdown. Had a little Le'Veon Bell kind of game. He didn't get quite the carries, but he had 2 touchdowns, was a rusher and a receiver. He's a good player for Danville, and he was the standout that Coach Crane said he had for him tonight. So congratulations to Evan Lane, and a big win for the Danville Littlejohns. Big.
Danville, as they went through their slump, but we knew Danville was a good team. And looking at the teams that they've lost to, Lamar, undefeated. Glen Rose, one of the better teams in 3A. Mayflower, they showed their worth tonight. They are a very good football team as well. So now Danville, they're kind of hanging out that 3 seed in that playoff hunt. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to be one. I don't want to be the person to play that 3 seed for sure.
That would not be fun. It's those types of teams always they'll end up getting somebody. I just remember when I was a senior in high school and our football team was the lowest seed. I think it was a 4 or 5 seed, whatever it was, playing the 1 on the road at Magnolia, and nobody in the world expected them to win it. They come out there, they've been tested, they played in one of the best conferences in the state. It sounds just like this. They go out, they're not afraid.
Right.
They beat them. They beat Magnolia, stole home field, and were able to come back home. We won't talk about what happened the next week, but they did go to the playoffs, and they did win a game against the team they weren't expected to beat. Is because they were tested. So, Brad, I think we've got other things that we wanted to hit this.
There's so much stuff that I want to get out, man.
Well, go ahead. Well,
I
see you're kind of itching a little.
I was just looking at, we're talking about the 12 teams that are undefeated, and I'm trying to see who won tonight and who lost. One of them went down tonight, which was Rivercrest. I'm still trying to count some of these other ones and see where they, if they went down. So we know for sure that there are at least 11 teams now in the state. At most that are undefeated, and Lamar is one of those teams. That's a big deal for Lamar. Yeah. Huge deal for them for sure.
All right, do we have information on our hit of the week? I've got to see this one. I haven't seen this Mattress Max hit of the week. And I've also gotten yelled at about the hit of the week already. Somebody saying that it was it's not right to be talking about putting people to sleep. Nice hit.
Did you?
Numbers? Yes, absolutely. I got yelled at last week, and I said I've clearly put over and over out there that we're not talking about illegal hits. We're not going to pick illegal hits. It's part of the.
It's a joke.
The gag here with the fact that it's giving away a pillow, a luxury travel pillow. That is. So congratulations,
yes, Isaac Simpson.
Isaac Simpson from Pottsville. Hey. This ought to make you sleep a little easier after your team gave up 78 tonight.
Well, let me give you a little bit of backstory on Isaac. Isaac played football all the way up through 7th grade or so, and he quit. Joined the team 3 games in last year. 6'4", 215 pounds.
Ooh,
I bet.
You think he was getting recruited in the hallway?
Yeah, I bet that they wish that he would have played a little bit more. But Isaac Simpson gets our hit of the week. He can. He already knows this, but he can go to Mattress Max and collect that luxury pillow. Get that photo op that he wants to get, and so yes, thank you to Isaac. I think we got 2 winners, one from Clarksville, one from Lamar, that still have the chance to go pick up their pillow if they want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're trying to get a hold of we've got a hold of them, got them connected, but it's kind of tough when people have their schedule can't line up to come get it. But yeah, we've got Cole Clark from Clarksville, and we've got Braden Grace from Lamar, who are former hit of the week winners. So we appreciate.
Let's go ahead and show them the play of the week too.
Yeah, let's see the play of the week as well. Yes.
So this is Cody Day. Cody Day had almost 500 yards of total offense last week, and this was the overtime winner against Hackett, and they won the ball game 48-42. Really set themselves up big time, and so Cody Day wins the player of the week. Last week he also won play of the week. And the Hector Wildcats, man, they're setting really good right now at 6-2, and man, it's a good time to be a Wildcat for sure.
Absolutely. It's a good week. Let's look through these schedules and standings. I know Maddie did a lot of work to get these things all done for us today, so we wanted to scroll through them. If you weren't able to watch earlier on before the show started, they were scrolling through, and obviously they don't take into account tonight's games, but if you wanted to just get a good look at what the schedule looked like and who they've got left, you can add in tonight's scores, and you can piecemeal that all together and get it all as well, get all the picture that you can out of that. So I am now efforting with producers in the Wizard of Oz land behind the curtain to figure out who our winner is for tonight's giveaway. Thank you again to American Outdoor Sports for sponsoring this giveaway and giving us this opportunity to give this flashlight away. It is a $55 flashlight. I don't know that I've ever seen a $55 flashlight, but it's a nice setup. And if it keeps raining and we don't have to build an ark, maybe you'll be prepared in case there is an apocalypse of some kind. They will not have to worry about anything with a $55 flashlight. So as you're looking at these stats and scores and the standings, we appreciate Matty Lassiter, who puts all that together for us. He does a really good job with all the production. He sets it all up, makes us look pretty, and that's pretty tough to do with us on camera. So let's finish up shop, Brad. Is there anything else you wanted to hit tonight that we haven't already done? Man,
no,
we've kind of
man.
been everywhere.
I was just looking at standings tonight. This is a big night for Atkins in the wrong way. Atkins really. They fell to that 4th seed. Coming basically, they're unless they're able to knock off Glen Rose, which would be a pretty big upset there. They're going to be that 4th seed coming out. Now it looks like that they won't have a very far trip because it looks like they're going to be at Lamar in fact, either Lamar or Boonville in that first week.
Man, I would not like that if I were Lamar.
It's tough. It's a tough draw. It's a tough
draw.
Be
a fun draw for them. Of course, you think about it the other way,
or Boonville.
I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to play Boonville.
If Lamar plays and they play that stingy defense, they got a chance. So that was one thing that stuck out to me tonight. That 3A1 that Boonville's in, there's a lot of mess behind Lamar, but Lamar really sitting pretty tonight. In the 4A4, Elkins has a chance to really mess things up if they beat Dardanelle next week, but we like Dardanelle's chances. Morrilton saved their season tonight with that win over Valonia. Russellville's sitting in good shape right now for that 3 seed. All they've got to do, they've got to win 2 games. Of course, both of them on the road. Imagine this. They go to Siloam Springs one week. They go to El Dorado one week. I mean, 2 opposite ends of the state. They're in the same conference. Those are long trips. Of course, Russellville being, a school that's got a little bit more money than some of the other ones do, or at least some of these smaller schools do. I have no idea how they'll handle that. I'm sure that they'll travel, probably – heck, they might travel down there the day before. Who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, all that being said, Russellville basically holds all the cards. If they're able to beat El Dorado, especially because El Dorado beat Siloam Springs tonight, they've got a chance to be that 3 seed. That 3 seed sets up very well for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's nice to control your own destiny. That is good. All right, it's time to close up shop and give away this, what's it called, professional series. I don't even know the name of it. What's the brand name here? From American Outdoor Sports, this flashlight. I'm sorry I don't know the name of it, but it is fantastic. TMTA2. Thank you again to American Outdoor Sports. They're on 4th Street. You can give them a call at 567-5718 or go see them Monday through Friday there on 4th. Problem. Well, there's a button, but it's okay. It's all good.
We're still here.
Tonight's winner, and we are gonna, as we mentioned, we're gonna close up shop with this. Matt Huffman. Congratulations,
Matt Huffman.
Do you know that person?
Yes.
Okay, I don't. So I didn't do this. I didn't rig it. I don't want people to get mad at me. We appreciate everybody who watched, everybody who joined us tonight. Tell your friends about the show. We've had 70,000 views so far on River Valley Touchdowns broadcast, and we want to continue to do well. We want to carry it in to the playoffs and do it well to make sure that everybody gets covered the best way they possibly can. And we appreciate all of our sponsors, everybody who makes it possible for River Valley Now and also for River Valley Touchdowns. So, Brad?
Man, here we are. We're we're kind of winding this thing down now.
Is it making you sad a little bit?
You know, I mean, it's exciting to get to the playoffs, but this playoff picture is starting to shape up. You're starting to see where teams are going to fall. I think that, you know, in the next week or two, we need to start taking a look at where these teams might go now, you know, where they might play, who might play them, you know, who's going to get home games, that sort of thing. That'll be interesting to look at in the next couple of weeks. You know, who wins a couple games and gets themselves in a better position, such as Hector. And if I'm not mistaken, looking at Hector's draw, if they win the conference, they get a bye.
Nice.
So that's huge. That's a big deal. So that being said, you know, it's something that we can look at moving forward. But, man, big games next week. Dardanelle Elkins, you know, Hector, Junction City, Lamar, Boonville.
Big games,
those are
man.
huge games. Russellville and is it Siloam or is it?
It's next week.
I think it's Eldo. It's El Dorado next week. So I mean, there's lots of big games that are coming up that we're going to have eyes on and
playoff implications all over the place, which is how it goes.
I don't want to spoil it, but man, that last week.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man, y'all. Pay attention to River Valley now for the next few weeks. Now, as if you wouldn't already, we've got that RV Inside series that we're really proud of, that Hunter Boyer video, man. 23,000 views on that so far because people have really taken to the quality work that Maddie and Brad did on it, and also the story. It's a miracle. It's an awesome story, and we appreciate the Boyer family for letting us do that, man. That's a big deal, and there are more coming just like it. It's going to be incredible, guys. You don't even know. It's going to be awesome. So we appreciate everybody who's making those things possible. If you've got any story ideas like that, mark@rivervalleynow.com. Email me. Love to hear from you and tell some stories. Tell some good stories. We've got some interns coming on that are going to help us as well. We don't need to keep you all night. We can tell you about all the cool stuff that we're thinking up and dreaming up here at River Valley Now. So for Brad, I'm Mark saying so long. We appreciate you watching us, and we'll be back next week.